What's up, everybody? This is Marshall Couture, also known as Plex in hip hop circles. And I was just live streaming, but there was an issue with the stream, so I was doing it through the encoder situation or whatever. There's different ways to live stream on YouTube. But yeah, that wasn't working out so well. It was really skippy, and people were having a hard time. Excuse me. Viewing it, so I just kind of let that be, shut it down, and now I'm starting again on Google, via Google Hangouts. That's like the other way you can do it. So yeah, I just restarted it. I'm counting that last video as my 100 Days of Making Comics video for today, and this video is me just doing some of my SHEcember sketches. And also, I'll be working on a commission if I get to that far in the video, but that's something I have to get done, hopefully today. So yeah, so I will show you what I'm doing here. Actually, you know what? Just so you can see what I did this morning. Earlier, I got the new page started. For Lizard Brain. Got all the panels inked in, and now I'm working on the rough sketches. So yeah, that's what I did for my half an hour today. I was also working out the thumbnail a little bit, so that's what took some of the time. But I really got to get some other stuff done. I got to catch up on these SHEcembers, and I have to work on my commission work. And then I have other stuff I really want to do. I'm trying to learn some skills that are going to help me in the future. So I'd like to get into some of that too. Probably with all the stuff I have to do, probably might not get into that for too much today, but we'll see. But I really want to make that actually a priority over everything else. So yeah, so now I'll show you kind of the view of me doing the sketches. Right now I'm in the blue pencil, so you might not be able to see it so well. Let me also get actually I should share all this stuff real quick as well. Actually I gotta use this one. See, now it's not saying I'm live, but I am live. It's weird. Anyways. All right, so let me go to that. It's working, hooray. Mike, I don't know if you saw my message, but like I said, if you felt, if you happen to be in a position where you wanted to hang out, I'd be happy to invite you onto the stream. Or if any of my artist buddies feels like doing that, let me know. And we can chat live while we do some arts and farts. All right, so I want to share this link, and then I'll get to the drawings. The drawings. Yeah. Share this. Actually, maybe I should do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it via my phone again. I'm smiling at the camera, taking a kind of computer selfie, but I have to wait for the latency to catch up. All right, so now I got my picture. And I'm going to shoot it on Instagram real quick. New live stream sketching SHEcember. Oh, I didn't get the link. Dirt. Okay. I gotta. Oh, how can I do this? It's a little bit different this way. Blah. You know what? I'll do it this way. Donkey Jaw Projects YouTube. Go. Yeah. All right. Will it come up is the question. Will the live stream come up so I can... No. All right. How can I get the link? I don't think it was posted on Facebook yet. Unless I'm wrong, which that's always a possibility. Always a possibility. Grr. All right. Maybe I could actually type it in. It's weird, but http:// There used to be I always remember that because there used to be this song, this hip hop song where that was the hook. It was like http:// this that something.com. It's kind of weird, but fun. Slash all these. See, oh man, I don't know if that's an L or an I. Goodness gracious. How can I get the link? All right. What I'm going to have to do is post it on Facebook. Sorry, guys. It's always an issue trying to get this stuff going. Here, I'll put it on my Donkey Jaw projects. That way nobody will see it. So how's everybody doing today? All right, now let's post it on there. I can grab the link. You always say yes to. All right, what am I looking for? This. Come on. Donkey Jaw. If you want to know where all this randomness from my brain comes from, donkeyjawprojects.com. That's the place to find me. Open in YouTube. This is exciting visuals and audio, I know. Share, copy. All right, that's all I needed. Give me go back to Instagram, make that happen, paste, blah, blah, blah. And we are good. Goodness gracious. You know what? Let me put the link in my description. That way All right. Now can I get back to drawing? Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Yeah, I'll jump on. Give me a minute. Okay, I don't know, did I put the link in the message? I think I did, but I'll do it again just in case. Get so distracted. Let's see. That was the right link, right? I hate. Ugh. Okay, yeah, that's the right thing. All right. Goodness gracious. Why? Why, oh, why did I get cappuccino scar on my face, but I'm not Al Pacino? Y'all don't know what that's from. If you do, you get super extra bonus points, and you can use those to go towards being super cool. All right, let me put the link in the message. Here's the link. Word. All right, can we start drawing now? Cool. We are back in go mode. Back in go mode. All right. Suppose I should keep this part on. That way I can see if Mike's here. I might need my headphones too, depending on how the situation goes. All right, back to trying to draw this person. My friend name is Lori. I can say it because people who wanted to do this agreed to be tagged and shared. So hopefully they understood that. I don't know why I didn't draw women too much. Missed calls, huh? On Google Hangouts. Oh, looks like Mike might be trying to get in. Huh, there's other video calls going on, I guess. I wonder if I don't. He said he's in, okay. But I don't hear anything. Maybe I need my headphones to make this happen, because I probably muted this, is probably what the problem is. And I forgot that I muted it. All right, headphones are in. Do you hear me? I got to set up my mic still. Okay, that's why. Well, cool. I have the headphones in anyways. Why not? Alrighty. So what was I saying? Oh, it's weird that as a young kid, I didn't draw women too much, and I guess it's not that weird, because I think a lot of people did that who were into comics, you know. So you know, superhero comics, I should say. And you know, because you're trying to learn how to draw like big buff dudes or whatever who are punching people, and you're into action movies and you're into all kinds of different stuff. Um, boy things, guns, violence, running around and doing crazy tricks, karate, things like that. At least that's how we've been, how some people would say we've been programmed. um, but that being said, um, I don't know how much detail I want to go into the designs on her blouse here. I think I'll just do a little bit detail though, because it just makes it look cool. Um, so yeah, I never really drew girls, and when I did, I would draw like the superhero type, you know, Wonder Woman type of situation or something, and they'd probably come out more looking like guys and stuff because I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I did hear some advice, you know, you can't draw as many lines and stuff, but it's hard to follow that advice when you're young. So, you know, that happened. Um, so now I'm, you know, much too longer later, I'm, you know, starting to learn how to draw women. And it's a challenge. All right. I think I got what I want from this. I think hopefully I can make her not look horrible. So I think I'm going to go in with the micron type of situation first, or the you know, the fine liner type of thing first. Mike, he's still setting up. I'm trying to see the I know there's like a comment section, so I know I saw some of it, but okay, here it is. He's still setting up. Okay. Cool. We're patient. I'm going to be here for a while unless things change, which you never know, could happen. So my question is, do I want to use, I feel like this pen's like starting to give out. I might need to get some more pens soon. It's getting a little loosey goose.
Yo.
I hear ya. Sweet. How's it going? Not much, you know, just trying to make some art and not letting technology get in my way, even though I am.
Same here.
Hopefully I caught you on a time where you're doing something you can kind of be productive at the same time with.
You caught me at the perfect time, man. I'm just waking up, having my coffee, and I was thinking about what to do. So might as well do some art, right?
So I'm going to ask you a question that is going to, you don't have to answer, but because you haven't put up your 100th video yet, you might not want to answer it, but I am curious, are you still doing the checklist?
No. I'm not doing the checklist. Not
okay.
exactly. Like I took a week off of trying to stick to any kind of schedule at all. Like right after the 100-day. And
Yeah,
then
that's
since
understandable.
then, yeah, I mean, since then I have been doing work every day, just not like holding myself accountable. But I think doing the challenge, man, it just sticks. You know, I can't help but want to do all these things anyway. So I haven't been like really slacking, but I haven't been keeping track either.
Right. Well, that's cool, man. It's totally understandable. I mean, the fact that you even did it for that long is like, wow. Like, you kicked butt on that thing.
Thanks, man. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And by the way, everybody who's watching, you probably already know, probably already know about Mr. Mike Emirates. He's just an awesome YouTube D100s type of dude, and he's check out his channel. It's Mike Emirates. If you search that in, and I will put a link in after this, so you guys can click it. But yeah, check out his stuff. He makes awesome videos and awesome art. So yeah, and so yeah, I'm trying to draw girls today.
Sweet. Yeah, I saw that's what you've been working on lately. That's awesome.
Yeah, I slacked though this week. I couldn't. There's a lot of things that I couldn't kind of get to like I wanted to, but it's all right. It's how the world goes. But yeah, so I'm trying to kind of play catch up and stuff. So how's your experience been with drawing women? I was just talking about that before you got on. I'm not sure if you heard it, but
You're breaking up. I didn't hear you. What did you say?
oh, sorry. I was just talking earlier about like my experience through life, like drawing women. If I, because I haven't really done it too much. Um, and when I have, when I was younger, like I just kind of mostly drew like superhero type dudes a lot. And when I did draw women, it was like I wouldn't really do it very well, and they'd almost look like dudes a lot of times and stuff, and just that was what I was into, I guess. But I was wondering, like what your experience has been with like drawing women. Has it been as difficult for you as it's been for me?
Oh man, you're really breaking up. I think I got what you were saying though. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you super clear.
So you're asking about drawing women?
Yeah,
Whether
like what's your experience been like with it? All right, I'm taking my headphones out, and maybe that'll help. Do you hear me better now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. So that's the problem. So yeah, I'll ask it again. My question was, did you, what's your experience been like with like drawing women? Have you
Oh
had
man,
much
no, it
difficulties
didn't
I
help.
have? What's that?
It's still breaking up.
Ah,
So much for
technology.
technology not getting in the way.
Technology's not my friend today. Well then, you know what? I'm gonna see if it's coming through on YouTube or not. How well it's coming through. Do-do-do. Let us see. Well then, you know what? I'm gonna see. Yeah, it seems like it's coming through. The audio seems like it's coming through on YouTube.
Well,
Maybe you're just not hearing me.
yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Check out my headphones and see if I can hear the stream. I don't know. No. Check out my headphones. Okay,
Can't
that was
see.
nuts. I'm not gonna do that again. So you were pretty much asking like about like what I from the gist that I got, you were saying like what my experience was, like what I had trouble drawing and uh, whether it was harder to draw women or men and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I really, really, really wanted to draw women really well when I was little, and so I drew a lot of them. And I feel like I kind of was better at drawing women for a while, and then now not so much. It's kind of gone in flux. You know, like how you'll draw for a few years or whatever, and you'll start getting good at something, but then like 5, 10 years after that, you look back and realize, I wasn't that great at that after all. And that's kind of how I feel. Like I was good at drawing women, but not really. I'm learning. I think everybody kind of goes through that same thing too. I think I think they say that like women tend to draw women better at first, and men tend to draw men better at first, just because we're like more familiar with the stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't really heard that, but that's the sense I've gotten as well. That I know for me, like I said, I drew a lot of comic hero type of dudes, and then the women kind of sometimes had attributes they maybe shouldn't have had when I tried to draw them. So, yeah, did you try to put like headphones in or something, like so you could hear better, or maybe that's the problem? Or...
Maybe I should try to jump out of the stream and jump back in. Maybe it's a problem on my end.
Yeah, maybe that. Feel free to try whatever works. Fun, fun in the summertime, even though it's winter. Designing Women. Remember that show? That I know most people, like most dudes, probably didn't watch it. I don't know. I know my mom watched it. So that's kind of how I was exposed to that. Looks like he's back.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Wow, man. Stupid technology.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
that's all right. It's all impromptu anyways. It's not like this was meant a schedule thing or anything.
Cool.
But,
well, here I'm making you fix stuff, and it's my fault.
yeah,
So I'm sorry.
that's all right. Yep. So, yeah, it's fun though. Like, it's weird though because you would think as a young teenager who is very much attracted to the opposite sex, I'd want to draw more women, but at that time I was just into comics and I wanted to draw cool superheroes with superhero powers. So I just didn't
Yeah,
focus on
totally.
it. And I wish I did though, because I don't know, like people who can draw women well, I heard actually get jobs better in comics.
Really? Huh. I could see that
Yeah.
just because of the way that well, drawing pretty girls, it definitely sells. There's a huge market for that. That's for sure.
Yep. I know like that dude, J. Scott Campbell's always been known for drawing women and stuff, and uh, he has always, I think, done pretty well for himself. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he hasn't, but
Oh
he's,
yeah, I'd say
he's
so.
pretty popular.
Just about everybody knows who that guy is. I think
Yeah.
he's doing all right. Speaking of him, I love his work. I was just looking at all the post-it cards that he's been doing for a while, and man,
Oh yeah, I
so
don't
cool.
think I've followed him, to be honest. Even though I do like it, I remember when he first came out with that Gen 13 comic. I used to read that. And I've always liked his stuff, but yeah, I don't think I follow him online, or I haven't noticed it at least.
And he's just good. Like I don't know. I really want to get that good someday. His
Yeah,
construction is just so on point that when he goes to ink something, it totally comes together. You know,
huh,
like you were saying, with very few lines too.
right. Yeah, I'll have to check him out again. For sure. So you were up pretty late last night, I hear.
Yeah, probably too late.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
I didn't even really mean to do that either. I was kind of sitting here, sort of like this morning actually. I was kind of sitting here like, all right, well, I don't have any obligations right now, so I could pretty much do whatever I want. And I was kind of thinking about just going to bed. And then Dominique Isaac, he works at Coffee Table Comics, and he's
Hmm.
been uh, helping out Jason and all of them over there with their uh, social social media stuff and marketing and all that.
Yep.
And he's been doing these live streams and stuff lately. And we were talking about starting like a study group type of thing. And he just happened to, on a whim, be studying last night and decided to throw up a stream. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, sure, I'll hop in on that. Like I didn't hop in with him, but we were in the chat just talking about stuff. And so I ended up just drawing like all night until like 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, I saw
and
that that study you were doing. Was that like from what he was talking about, or did that was just something you were studying?
Yeah, that was totally just my own thing. He was studying out of James Gurney's book, Light and Color and Light, I think it's called. It's all about
Hmm.
painting and lighting and stuff. And I was just doing random figure studies. I had on that Pixel Lovely site that just kind of cycles through a bunch of different poses, and I was just
Yeah,
doing, you know, gestures and figure drawings and stuff. And I just whenever I do that, inevitably, like if I do it for too long, I just like zone out on one. Like I'll just suddenly kind of pick one, and I'll just start over rendering it and adding color, and that's
right,
pretty much what that was. But I'm glad that I did that. You know, I could have just gone to sleep. So
right. That's cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I was talking about it earlier. I don't know if it caught or whatever. I think it was on the last stream I just did, but I can definitely like I love doing representational work just for fun really. Like I don't want that to be like really what I'm known for. Like if I ever do like get into like an art career, more in the career realm, like I don't think that's what I want to do as a career, but it's fun to it's just fun to just sit there and work on something representational and learn and stuff.
yeah, I agree. And you know, it's that old what do they say? Like you should learn how to do it. Like what is it? Like learn how to do it realistically, and then break the rules to do more cartoony stuff, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
they always it's always like kind of implied, I think, and like Picasso and stuff. His stuff is obviously he's not known for super representational stuff, but he could do it. In his earlier
yeah,
work, he did do it.
it definitely helps for sure. Like at least with like your construction and proportions and stuff like that. I'm
Right.
trying to do more of it though, because I feel like the last couple of years I've just gone totally cartoony. I'm
Yeah.
trying to reel it back in just a little bit, but
Right. So like you said, you've talked about when like you're kind of known now a little bit more for a cartoony type of style, but some of your other stories that people like who know you, they're like think maybe that's a little odd because they're used to you doing like almost more dark stuff, and I don't know if that was more representational or how that went.
yeah, it was a little bit actually. I think it was actually, and it was a lot more like mechanical type stuff, and sort of. I mean, I guess a lot was inspired by like H.R. Giger and
Right.
some of, even some of like Clive Barker's work, and a lot of that like sort of cyberpunk, like people mixed with machines
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I guess it was a lot more representational too, because I was really hell bent on studying like just the masters. Like I had nothing but books on anatomy and like Michelangelo and Da Vinci and Raphael and all that kind of stuff. And
All
when
the
I was a lot, yeah, like all the classics,
yeah.
And like I still loved comics and read comics, but like when I was younger, I had it in my mind that like I wasn't supposed to learn from that. That it would only hurt me and stuff. Like I don't know. I have very strong opinions when I was younger, but so yeah, I think a lot of my work just reflected that. It was a lot more, realism mixed with like this sort of abstract machine type stuff, or like monsters and all kinds of messed up anatomy and things like that. It's weird, but even then, I still did cartoons. Like I've always been like definitely never in the middle, always like balancing two extremes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I've always done the same thing too. It's fun to go dark.
it can be.
Um,
It can be like a cathartic experience. Release the demons.
Absolutely. Um, but yeah, I do agree. I've been very similar to that, and it's always been hard for me. Like I always kind of felt like I needed to settle on a style, and like at least when I was younger, I should say, and I get that from the comics and stuff that I read, and feeling like that was kind of what made a lot of those guys kind of get their name and stuff was through their style, and
Mhm.
but I could never quite settle on like how detailed I wanted to be versus how cartoony I wanted to be, and I still
Yeah.
haven't kind of figured that out.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, like you were saying with the limited line work and stuff, I see a lot of comic art, and actually a lot of art in general is really about like taking away as many lines as possible to, only use what you need to describe what you're doing. And I look at some people, like, I mean, people that are just really good at art, and it's like they barely use any lines. It drives me crazy. Look at this stuff, and I think, how? How do they say so much or so little? But I don't know. It's just that fine balance, I guess. That's why I think doing both is a good thing. You have to try to do realism, but then you've also got to try to like distill that down into more cartoony stuff to learn more about simplifying. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Um, hmm.
So you
Yeah.
said that you've done some more like darker kind of stuff too. Like what kind of stuff? Like crazy dark, like Spawn level dark.
Well, Spawn was definitely a big influence. McFarlane in general.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think because when I say I've done dark stuff, what that really would mean is that I played around in my sketchbook because I haven't really
Mm-hmm.
published much really as far as like art goes. So it's kind of a little different. I guess I feel like as an artist, I do like to go into that kind of dark realm, but I've probably experimented more with that with my music,
Mm-hmm.
with art, that side of art. So when it comes to like making beats and stuff, like I a lot of times would make really like I loved making really dark and moody type of beats, and I would get like I would get as dark as possible. Like it's and I still feel like I could still like probe further down and enjoy it. But you know, with the art, as I think about it, like I guess it's more that's my taste, like, or that's I have that within my taste that I like darker stuff, but I don't, maybe I haven't really done it as much, you know. I'm sure I've experimented again, like in my, you know, or in my sketchbooks and stuff, but
It's really interesting. I always think it's interesting. Some people that's all they like is dark stuff, and there's some people that all they like is really cute stuff. And I've even encountered some people that will see some of my more like mild drawings, but they're just like, you know, like a knight fighting a monster or something like that. Like it's not really that scary, but just the thought of like any kind of violence will turn some people off. And you know, then some people look at you know, some kind of crazy, you know, corpse character like Evil Ernie or like Spawn and think, oh yeah, that's just cool. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's
yeah.
just fascinating.
I think the thing that attracts me to dark stuff, because like there's a certain level to where I used to like be kind of okay with, but a little bit uncomfortable. But nowadays I'm a little less okay with some stuff. You know,
Yeah.
not necessarily judging it, but just as far as a consumer standpoint, like there's just certain levels of darkness that make me feel a little too uncomfortable. Like for instance, you know, when when Spawn, you know, first came out, they had that storyline with the kid, the ice cream truck dude or whatever, and you know that
Mm.
back then it did strike me, but I kind of was like, whatever. I really like the art, and you know, I realize they're putting him in a bad light, so that's cool, you know, anyways, so whatever. But like nowadays, I wouldn't really love that story. I would probably, you know, maybe read it once, but try to keep it out of my mind because it's just a little too creepy. But back then, I was kind of more like, I really want to explore all styles of art and stuff like that. So I guess I'm just a little more sensitive than I used to be to some stuff, you know, especially when it has to do with like kids
Yeah.
or something like that.
I'm breaking up again, so I'm gonna jump in and jump out, or jump
Okay,
out and jump in again.
no problem. So I'm definitely spending like way more time on this than I really want to because I want to, you know, kind of go through go through these SHEcembers really quick so I can get to my commission and stuff. And you know, they're meant to be practice really, and but I do want to do one for every day. Um, so you know, every day of December. But this one I'm spending a little more time on, I guess, because um, she's kind of like a good friend of like my wife and stuff. So it's kind of it'd be nice to have like kind of a cool drawing for her. Not that I'm really trying to play favorites, but I certainly don't want to do that. But I don't know. It's kind of how it goes.
Sorry, I had to jump out and jump back in again.
That's all right. No problem.
Cool.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what this is.
Yeah.
Hopefully my problem gets solved soon. I'm actually looking to buy a mic. I used to be able to use these Bluetooth headphones, and now I can't use them on my computer anymore. I have to use them on my phone, and my phone just isn't very reliable. So I guess
Mm.
it just kind of goes in and out sometimes. So I'm looking to get like a mic and a headset so that I can get back to streaming from my computer and And then hopefully all this will cease to be a problem.
Yeah.
Technology.
I don't know who it was. Somebody in the or not in the 100's Facebook group, I think it was, posted a microphone setup or whatever that they use a couple weeks ago, and I don't. Is that the one you're thinking of, or?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I
It was
definitely want to get a.
it was
Sorry,
like
go ahead.
it was like a little like $30 type of setup, and it kind of did. It was just like a really good like kind of beginners, but something that could definitely be useful type of setup.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to get something, cheaper for sure.
Yeah, it was
But
only like $30, and it had like a nice like boom stand, and it was a good quality mic, and goes right into your computer, and pretty much
oh yeah,
everybody like us would probably use.
that was. I think that was Eric that was posting that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm gonna have to check that out actually.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that since then. I'm like, once I get an extra $30, I think I'm gonna go for that. I think it'll help.
Yeah, that and like just a cheap headset would be awesome, especially if it's like decent quality audio, because I definitely want to do like a podcast type thing,
Right.
more. That's something that really appeals to me. Or like, like the Artcaster type thing. Kind of like what we were talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, same with me. I already, I already kind of do, my podcast
Yeah.
kind of randomly, but part of the reason why it doesn't happen more often is because of, technology. So
Yeah.
this would help it move along a little better.
That'd be awesome. I've had this idea for like a radio show type thing for a really long time too, and this year I decided I'd really like to go through with that. Probably not anytime soon because I got to finish Space Cat. I got to do some other things, but I definitely want to start like writing some scripts for it and things like that. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of like old radio show type stuff. So I kind of want to like, I don't know. I have my own little idea on how to do that. So I want to start getting set up for that too.
Man, I look forward to that because I love that type of stuff. There's
Yeah.
podcasts that I've listened to that kind of go down that road, and I love them. I mean, I haven't listened to them lately, but when I do, I'm just like binge on them.
Mhm. Yeah, me too. It's like one of those weird things too that like as technology goes further into the future, we start trying to want to replicate the past. It's weird, but it's still cool.
Absolutely. That's why I like I get into like, different indie artists and stuff. And, I kind of, sometimes they tag like the music like lo-fi. And I kind of like that. I like it when they try to like compress it down to like old school sounds where it's like, it doesn't really sound all of that crisp, but I don't know, there's a charm to it.
Yeah, I like that too. There's something about that compression that just has a really unique sound. It's cool.
Absolutely. Like even because there's this kind of YouTube channel that sometimes that they have like kind of a podcast show or whatever. I don't know what it is anymore, but um, that where they're like into modular synth and stuff, and they're just producers. They're like kind of mostly hip hop R&B style producers, but they're really into like like I said, the synths and stuff, and just different equipment and um I don't know. I really like listening to what they say. And one thing they talk about, like this one of these guys kind of put out like an EP or whatever, and he he said he ran it through. like he finished the album, mixed it, mastered it, whatever, and then he ran it through like an old tape deck, and then he took that sound and he ran it through like a reel to reel, and then he ran that back through another tape deck. Like he did all this kind of thing to make it have that old like feel to it. And I'm
Oh,
like, that's
cool.
awesome.
That's a lot of work, but that's awesome.
Yeah. So I
You
was
know,
like,
it's funny because like that actually probably gives him a new sound compared to everything else that's out there right now.
yeah,
Something that used to be common, now it would be more rare. So then it would be more unique, I guess.
yeah.
Cool.
And I know also like um for years, like always, with hip hop, you know, beats and production and stuff, you know, producers, and I've done it, and a lot of people have done it, is you know, they'll actually sample you know, the cracks and stuff on a record, you know, and all the static or whatever, and they'll overlay that over their music and stuff. And gives it that feel,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I like everything that people do with music. It's just I don't know. I love music. I wish that I knew a little more about it to actually be able to compose more. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Those old sounds too. They kind of I don't know. They have a different kind of emotional context too. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
sort of like nostalgic and eerie in a way.
Hmm. Yep, absolutely. And it's kind of crazy because um, like say the Beatles or something, like, or just any of those old popular bands, um, you know, they recorded on equipment that like was good for their day, but honestly, if you have a computer, you have like better equipment than they ever had.
Yeah,
In a microphone.
yeah.
So it's like you can do amazing stuff just in your house, but like you said, now we're trying to like deconstruct it so that it sounds like the old stuff. So
Which is hilarious. But eh.
it's hard to get a likeness. So I don't know. I hope I don't mess this up.
But the ones you've been making lately have been awesome.
Thanks.
Are you like sending these off to the people, or are you just doing them and posting them?
Yeah,
Like, are these like
they're mostly supposed to
okay?
just be like sketches. You know, they're not supposed to get too detailed. This one's getting a little more detailed. Um, just because I've been sitting here for a little longer, but also it's like a friend of my wife and stuff, so I want to make it a little bit better. But you know, they're supposed to just be for practice. Um, so you know, even sometimes they'll just be a pencil sketch, which is what I'll probably do to catch up. Is just some pencil sketches. But yeah, like the one that I did do so far that was just a pencil sketch. The lady's like, "Oh, can I use that for my profile picture?" I'm like, "Sure." It's just a really fuzzy picture from you know my phone, but okay. If they asked for me to send it in, I would, but I'm not like offering that up because then it's like starting to get into me working for free type of situation.
Oh man, I'm breaking up again. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. So you know what? While he's gone, let me go blow my nose again. This little stupid runny nose, man. It's killing me. Be right back.
All right, and oh, he left. Wahaha! I have taken over your channel.
I ran out for a sec too. I had to blow my nose. I thought I could get back before you got back.
Never. It's a good thing you came back. I was thinking of doing something really goofy.
Uh-oh. Hijack. Nice.
Yeah, man, I don't know what is going on. I normally don't have this problem, but it looks like my phone is just trying to do like a million things at once right now.
Really? So you're streaming through your phone?
Yeah. But it's all janky because I have to, like, I can't even stream through my phone just with my phone. I have to get invited through like a link on my computer, and then that'll actually get me into the Hangout, and then from there it actually shows up on my phone and I can join it. But anytime anyone sends me an invite, it never actually shows up on my phone. So it's this really stupid kind of situation. That's probably what's causing the problem too, you know.
Yeah.
Technically, like, I'm streaming from two different places.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. Like when I try to do it on my phone, kind of does the same similar thing.
Oh yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like when we were doing the hangout earlier this week, that's kind of, I think, the same type of situation I was having. But one thing that's, what kind of phone do you have? Do you have an iPhone or?
No, it's a Android Turbo or whatever. So it's quite a few years old.
Okay, yeah, because I have the Samsung Galaxy, and so that's, basically Android too. So I wonder if that's part of the issue or what, but I don't know. One thing that is cool, I don't know if you have it on your phone, but with mine, it's like there's an option to live stream right in like the camera function.
Oh really? Huh.
Yeah, like on YouTube, which is
Oh
pretty
yeah.
cool.
I have noticed that. I used it a few times when my computer was giving me troubles
Yeah.
to do my videos, but for Hangouts though, Hangouts is so weird. Like, it just doesn't. It's like it doesn't sync up or something.
Mm,
Even though it's the exact same account, it's so weird.
yeah. Well, maybe it's a good thing that technology isn't quite caught up with humanity yet.
Yeah, who knows what the future is going to bring. Man, I've been reading some crazy stuff. Apparently, like, there's a whole group of people that believe that we're pretty much living in the Matrix.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard that one.
And I guess they really are taking it to the next level, though. They're like going to fund this research to actually make a red pill to wake somebody up. What?
Nice.
It's
Some
crazy. Could
people
you
need
imagine? What if they're right?
say, oh, what if they're right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's craziness, man. I mean, the thing is like when you get into like quantum physics and stuff, like anything could be true.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I was just reading something too about the imagination, that apparently if we, like, our imagination works as sort of like a collective memory, so we don't actually ever imagine anything new. We can only like recall things that have existed in some form at some point, or that can exist. Our brains really aren't as creative as we think they are, that they really only piece together things that have like a certain amount of probability to them. And that was just nuts. I mean, thinking about all that, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
We could have dragons, man.
Well, I mean, I could see some kind of how that, because like see, it's weird. Like, people will. It's kind of different how different people like interpret certain things. But like, I don't know. Like, I can almost see that to a certain extent, as far as like just like being a creative person. Coming up with ideas for different things, and if you sit on an idea for too long, inevitably somebody will do it. Somebody else will
Mm-hmm.
do it, and you'll see it out there.
Yep.
Um,
Every time.
yeah, and it's kind of frustrating as an artist, but that just gives kind of us motivation to actually do the things we think of instead of like sitting on it. But you know, I can kind of see that. Like, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody's like, especially within a certain culture, like certain things are going to be more um, like likely to be prevalent in people's minds and stuff. So I can see that just kind of happening naturally and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only so many ideas to be had, I guess. And really everything, even everything about creativity is just kind of reinterpreting what we've already seen.
Right. Yeah.
I
I
used to
mean,
be,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I used to feel completely different about that. Like going back to what you were saying about being younger and like, drawing women versus drawing men and stuff. Like during that same time, I used to think that it was, uh, a bad thing to try to copy other artists and all that because, you know, by not copying anybody, all my ideas are going to be 100% original, and that's just not the case. Like, if you don't learn from somebody and copy something, then you got nothing to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in a certain sense, it's all derivative. But you know, there is a certain thing as I don't think like pure originality, but there is kind of the way you execute it, and I think it's almost
Yeah,
I think it's more it's like inevitable, like we can't help but be original too at the same time,
yeah, I could agree with that.
because it's going to come through the filter of who we are. um so yeah, it's interesting how it all works, and it always seems to be like too, like what really is the creative thing is the unique way that you put two things together, and or three things or something, and also mixing certain things that maybe haven't been quite mixed before, like the elements that you're using aren't original, but maybe nobody's thought to put X with Y.
Yeah, definitely. That's like, to use my own story, Space Cat, as an example. Like, there's so many different kinds of Space Cats out there, but I've yet to see any that are exactly like what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Either story, the graphic novel and the web comic, I still haven't seen anything that's like either of those. And
Yeah.
that was something that was really discouraging me at first, but once I just let go and was just like, all right, whatever, well, I'm just going to do my own thing, and people are going to like it or they're not. Then like I was kind of free, and then I realized, oh, you know what, this is actually pretty different. I'm sure there's some similarities, but I agree with you. I think that no matter what, everyone still does put their own spin on it, especially if like this is what you do. Like if you're constantly thinking about this stuff, like you can't help but get your own original take on it at some point.
Yeah.
It might be harder when you're younger, just starting out, or haven't come up with as many stories or characters. Like I know when I was really, really young, like most of my characters, looking back, they're just rip-offs of stuff that I was into as a kid. Like one of my first favorite characters that I created ended up being pretty much just Earthworm Jim with hair. So, there's stuff like that. But over time, you start to stop doing that as much, and I think the influences become harder to pinpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely I think the hardest thing for me, like, and this is a little different, but like I definitely had the same thing like with you know, very derivative things. I had definitely had some characters who kind of had a Spawn look to them or something, but you
Yeah.
know, also I think what was really difficult as a younger person when I was creating things was I just feel like, you know, I didn't have, even then I knew like I didn't have enough life experience, you know, to kind of
Yeah.
come up with a good story. And I still tried to kind of fake it, but I think that kind of stopped me too, like from actually making stories because I didn't think I had enough life experience. Yeah, I think if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have passed that. Um, you know, and I don't mean like life experience wise, but if I knew like some techniques of kind of hacking that I know now, I'd do better. But yeah, like that was something that was kind of an issue back then for me.
Yeah. Well, life experience definitely plays into telling stories. I totally stick by that whole idea that you can't really tell a story unless you've had an experience that you want to tell. And like it doesn't even have to be like some epic Indiana Jones adventure. It could just be, you know, an observation of life in general, but you know, you definitely need those experiences. And I feel like I can kind of feel when a writer's telling a story that hasn't come from at least some kind of experience. Like there's I don't know. I don't want to like alienate anybody saying that you know one way is better than the other or anything. Like there's definitely like a craft to writing as well, and you can tell stories that are just entertaining. They don't have to be like super meaningful, but just in those like just for those little moments, you know, like even just dialogue or interacting between two characters, like it's like real life experience teaches you how those moments should play out, you know, even if they don't add up to like a big moral at the end of the story or something, but just like, you know, learning how people talk and learning like the logic of life, you know, like sometimes I'll watch some TV shows and I'm just like screaming at the TV, like no one would do that. Why? Why would you? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people kind of feel it when they can relate, and then you can tell any kind of story you want. You can tell a superhero story or a horror story or whatever, but people can kind of like relate to it better because they could feel that it could be real. It could play out like that. You know? I don't know.
Absolutely. Definitely. I'm trying to think of some examples because I know there's definitely um, stuff where I've noticed kind of that like it's definitely better when it's derived from kind of a life like emotion type of thing. And I don't know. Like another thing I've been struggling with too. Well, trying to wrap my head around, I guess. I don't know if it's struggling, but yeah, just trying to wrap my head around his characters and stuff. Like, I was listening to a lot of Holly Brown videos actually recently, and she was
Mm-hmm.
talking. She was talking about like writing. You have to have good characters in your stories, and if you don't have that, then you know the plot doesn't almost even matter because you just have to have good characters, and that's kind of what drives things. And that's always been like the debate or whatever in story writing is character driven or plot driven, blah blah blah. But
Right. Yeah.
I think she just said you really just need both, but it's really important to have good character development and stuff. And I agree, but I don't know how to do it, and I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around the actual character. I'm definitely much more plot driven, and then I just try to intuitively inject the character stuff in my like the drawing of the gestures and the and just like the writing of the words, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't figure it out before I hit the page really too much. I guess I have a little bit of a sense, but I feel like I'm probably kind of still cheating in that area until I can wrap my head around it.
What part of character development is getting you tripped up? Just just the
Well,
idea of character in general, or is it something more specific?
like when I did created the Glyph comics, you know, the first one I created, it was just like, all right, I'm gonna have a good guy fighting a bad guy in one environment, you know, because I had never made comics before, and I appreciated the fact that comics are hard and there's a lot to them, so I wanted to keep it very limited. So I did that, but there was no really character to Glyph. Like he just kind of was this guy who liked to make graffiti and possibly had something against this other guy who he ended up fighting or whatever. But like,
Hmm.
you know, and then in each consecutive comic, I tried to add more and more elements, you know, since I had learned something in the past one or whatever. And one thing, you know, I did kind of give them personalities, like some of my characters' personalities, but I still like that wasn't like what I was inspired to do. That wasn't what I was like. I don't know. I just come from like reading, you know, a lot of crappy superhero comics, you know, that don't put that into it. So like I get a lot of canned characters and I just don't feel like I know how to think about them when writing it. You know, I think some people have a better intuitive understanding of it, and I just don't quite get it yet.
Well, I mean, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit too, because that could be cool too. You know, like it doesn't always have to be like some deep soul searching type character. You know, like I think there's definitely a place for uh, you know, characters with less um, complexity to them. You know, like especially since from what I gather, like I haven't read the 12 stories yet, but the gist that I gather from the way that you talk about it is that it's real similar to like Pulp Fiction, you know, like the old pulp horror, crime, science fiction type comics where like there's a twist, you know, there's a monster, or there's like, you know, another focus that's more on like the unusualness of what's going on as opposed to like the people involved, you know, and like for a story like that, I think, you know, you definitely could use more character development, but it's not necessary, you know. And that
Yeah,
goes back to even what you said, that, you know, there's plot driven stuff and then there's character driven stuff, but there's even more than that, you know, there's things that are spectacle driven, you know, there's all these different elements at play with anything that you create. And you know, you just kinda gotta balance out all the ingredients, I guess.
yeah. I
But
mean, I agree. Like I'm rolling with that, and I actually I do enjoy that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I do enjoy old comics where the writing isn't always that great when it comes to character. So I, you know, I kind of roll with that, and I do like the, you know, the whole idea of the pulps and even just like TV shows and stuff, like even like He-Man and stuff or something like that, which, you know, they
yeah.
probably had better character development than I even have in a lot of my some of my stories, but you know, they weren't super deep. And
Yeah.
but I also do enjoy characters that are dynamic, you know. So I do want, like, to me, it's not like I beat myself over up about it. It's just something
Oh, okay.
that I haven't been able to wrap my head around, and I do want to inject into my stories when I do. You know, I really would like to get to that point. So
Okay,
I
right on.
feel like I just don't understand it yet. You know.
I gotcha. Well, something. I mean, I guess at the very, very like core of character development, you can something that might help you is to just think of it like this: like, uh, you just need to figure out what it is that your characters want, whether it's something physical or whether it's like they're struggling with something emotionally, whatever it is. But just give them a want, and then don't let them have it. that's kind of that's kind of the basics of it. You know, give them something that they need to feel like fulfilled in their life, and then deny them that. And then after that, you know, the character development part of the story is deciding whether or not you let them have it in the end, like whether something that they do allows them to get it, or whether something they do doesn't let them have it, or something someone else does. You know, there's so many different ways to mess with it, but basically just figure out what they want, prevent them from getting it, decide whether or not they get it in the end. I'm getting a lot of echo coming back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put my headphones in.
It's just like all of a sudden. But yeah, so, you know, just figure out what they want, keep them from getting it, decide whether or not they get it at the end, and then figure out what that means to them, you know, because ultimately that's character growth, just that, you know, them coming to terms with either the situation that prevented them from getting it, or them coming to terms with, well, I just can't have it, you know, like maybe it's happiness, you know, maybe a character just wants to be happy and they're very, very sad, and you get them close to maybe getting that happiness and then deny them that. And then how do they feel? What are the actions they take after that, you know? And then present them with another situation where maybe now the opportunity arises again. And, you know, that's where that human kind of experience comes into play, because everyone has those experiences. Everyone can relate to that. And I think that's why even movies about superheroes and, you know, crazy stuff, people can still relate to, because at the end of the day, you know, Peter Parker wants to get the girl, you know, he wants to, you know, not be having so many troubles in school and all that kind of stuff. Like that's the character development part of the story, that everyone relates to him as a person, you know.
Right.
Does that make any sense? That's like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've definitely, you know, heard that before, and wanted to, you know, get that into my stories and stuff. And so I guess it's weird, because I think that I just automatically, like, I get inspired and I can't help but go plot first. And and then once you have a plot, then going in after the fact and trying to like artificially inject character into that, like it doesn't, like, I have a hard time with that. Like I can't for the life of me like figure out what Glyph's character is or what his personality is for some reason. Like I mean, I basically just base him off of like a, you know, a Peter Parker type. So I just kind of go with that because I don't have any other idea, you know, with that. And I mean, I may never even go back to Glyph, I don't know, but that's just like one example. So like if I'm good at like coming up with ideas for a story and even plot and stuff like that, but then, you know, I want to get to the point where I'm
up again. Let me hold
okay.
that.
Yeah, getting into some good content actually here. It sucks that it keeps breaking up for him. You know, I feel bad, you know, that he has to deal with that, but you know, it's actually kind of some cool little ideas here. I don't know if anybody's watching or not.
Man,
That's all right. Yeah, it can be frustrating. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of funny because I just can't help but write plot first, and I think it's interesting too. Like, what book was it? There's one book I read about writing, and it's a somewhat popular one. I can't think of what it's called, but they talked about, and this is, you know, not very PC, but whatever, I don't care. But they talked about the difference between like feminine and masculine storylines, and a lot of times, you know, in a generalization way, like masculine, you know, men tend to write like more plot driven or whatever, and women tend to write from emotion and write more character driven stories. And they were saying in that book that it's a good idea to get in touch with both sides. You don't want more one than the other, really. And if you are able to, if you do write kind of plot driven, it's good to try to inject the emotional side of things too. And like a lot of times that those stories will have more subtleties, and they'll be less action oriented and more like relationship oriented and stuff like that. And I want to be more comfortable with that.
Yeah. I think, I think what trips a lot of people up is focusing too much on maybe kind of solidifying an idea before it's had a chance to fully develop. So like you were just saying, with like needing to balance that, like if you just focus on the plot at first, that's totally fine. Flesh that out, get a good structure down. But then if you want to inject that character, maybe don't feel like it's too late, then just go on to phase two then. Like if you're more comfortable working on plot first, then definitely work on plot first. But then once you're done, go to another stage where you're developing character then. But keep in mind and be okay with the fact that developing that character may actually drastically change the story. I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is feeling like, well, now when I'm developing character, it has to also conform to this plot. And it doesn't always work like that. Like you may find that while you're developing character, it might change your character's motivations. You may discover that a character would never do some of the things that you're trying to make them do in the plot. And then you might want to make some changes, and the story may turn out completely different than what you thought it would,
Yeah, that's a good point. It's interesting.
Yeah, we don't always get to tell the story that we set out to tell. Sometimes it changes its own mind.
Yeah. And the reason why I think that I really, have a desire to make that work better is because of all the and the thing is there are good comic stories, but it's because of like the bad comic stories I've read. Like I've enjoyed them for the art and stuff, and I've enjoyed them for the action and stuff, but there's been very few comics that I've read, or maybe none even, where I've come out like I have come out of some movies where it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be thinking about this for a long time. And that really affected me, and it almost like even shifted something, in the way I'm thinking about certain things or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like when, movies and things have that kind of effect. So I don't know. I just would like to see comics have that. And I know that there are a lot of comics probably that have that. They're just not the ones I happen to have read.
Oh, yeah. There's so many comics out there. I'm sure somebody's doing it.
Yep.
I know. I kind of felt like that after reading Watchmen. That did that to me. I thought about that for a long time. And
Yeah,
I've gone back to read it a few other times.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I haven't read that. My friend gave me a copy of like the graphic or novel or whatever, and I never wanted to read it because I didn't like the art. That was my basis on what comics I read, and so that was what happened. But now I actually do appreciate the art more now. But even still, like that won't necessarily deter me anymore. And everybody says it's like, groundbreaking change. It changed a lot of things in comics, and it's an amazing book. So I feel like it's like one of those books that like is kind of required reading if you want to be a comic interested in comics. So I kind of have to read it.
Talk about character development. Like that whole book is pretty much 100% character development. That would be a good one to read for that. I mean, there's definitely a plot line and there's some other elements going on, but yeah, I mean, you really get to know these characters as like people and the emotional context between all their relationships. It's pretty deep. It's pretty
Yeah.
deep.
Right.
But
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it's so hard for me to actually take time to read,
oh, I know.
unfortunately. It sucks.
I know. There's so many books I want to be reading, and I've got like a whole stack of comics that I've got this year that I haven't even looked at, and some I was extremely excited to get too. But I don't know. I'm learning to make more time to relax though, so we'll see how that works. Hopefully, I'll start getting a little bit more time to read. So.
You should do 100 days of relaxing.
I would love to. Oh, that's a great idea. I'll do live streams and you can just watch me read books and sit.
Yes.
Oh man.
We all probably should do that.
Honestly, it was kind of a weird thing. I was talking to somebody about like I was getting a critique about my social media kind of stuff, my social media presence online, but the whole critique sort of shifted into a different direction that ended up really bringing to light that I'm very disorganized with my schedule. Like I don't really like I got some core issues going on that are keeping me from really getting everything done that I'm trying to get done. And the main thing was relaxing. And I put this new schedule into place where it, on paper, it looks like I'm spending a lot less time because I'm actually scheduling in time to not work instead of only scheduling time to work. But man, for the first week that I did that, I literally felt like I got nothing done. Like I felt like I was screwing around the whole day. Like I watched a movie. I actually did read a few comics. I just sat and drew for the sake of drawing. I took a walk. My memory was like all these things that weren't getting anything done, but I actually got so much more work done.
Really?
Splitting my day up like that, yeah. And it was all about like splitting it into chunks. So like, and granted, this works for me because I work from home right now, so I have to kind of plan out my whole day. Whereas like the average person, even like going to and from work, that's kind of a break. Like it's not ideal, but it's still not necessarily working. But sometimes when you're working at home, like you don't even do that. It's just like 5 hours straight work and then take a 30-minute lunch break and then go another 3-4 hours or whatever. But now I've been breaking up my day into like 3 hours working and then an hour taking a break, and then 3 hours working and then an hour taking a break, and then another 3 hours working, and then dinner and figure out whatever else I want to do. But
right.
And those breaks aren't all like just hey, do whatever you want. Like that's like all right, eat lunch, do normal people stuff like maybe clean the house or go get the mail or whatever. Like it's not all free time, but it's still time that's like not being spent putting your brain to work and thinking about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I know how that is, even though I do have like a traditional job or whatever, like, because when I get home, I try my best when I have free time to work as much as I can on the projects and stuff, and it's easy to just be like to not like let yourself have any time because it's just these projects got to get done.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It's not always that great, and it doesn't really work too well, with relationships and with even just your own well-being and stuff.
So true. You need that time.
Well, I think I'm gonna call it quits on this specific drawing because there's not much more else. I don't really know if I quite got a likeness, but the drawing looks good.
Right on.
Hopefully they'll be happy with it. Usually non-artists are like, they don't seem to complain. A lot of times they're just kind of like, oh, that's amazing, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
artists are too, really. Maybe it's just me who's not like saying it's amazing.
That tends to be, I think that's most artists. I think we all tend to hate everything we do.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know, like, I'll feel good about something for like a moment, you know, but if I spend any more time looking at it, then I'll start to hate it and I'll start to want to fix something. And there's very few things that I accept as like, all right, this is good enough.
Yeah. Or the other thing that happens for me is like, I will, like, if I'm doing a bunch of
Oh no, I think we lost Marsh. Did we lose him? I don't want to hijack his feed. Huh. Well, everybody, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna try and find him online and see if he'll jump back in. Oh man, we've had so many technical issues today. I can't even control this Hangout. I can't even like share my screen for you guys. If anybody's even watching, I don't know if anyone's watching anymore. It says two people. I think one of those might be me. Uh, I'm just waiting to hear back from Marsh to see if he wants me to keep the stream going. But I think maybe he lost power or something. There, well, that about does it, everybody. Sorry for the technical issues. I'm not able to get a hold of Marsh, and I don't really want to hijack his stream because I might say stuff that maybe he wouldn't agree with. The views and expressions conveyed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Marsh Makes Art, aka Donkey Job Projects. This has been a Donkey Job Projects production. All right, I'm done. I'm already messing things up. All right, everybody, I'm gonna cut this stream.